She was beaten for birthing daughters, until the widowed Cowboy stepped forward and said, "Then let me raise them proud." Buckskin, Arizona, autumn of 1877, a dusty edge-of-nowhere town, where the laws bent to coin and the last drops of mercy had baked out under the sun. Nights came heavy with the smell of smoke, whiskey, and wood, while wagon wheels rattled down the main drag and curses spilled from a saloon. In a sagging clapboard shack at the edge of town, Joanna Monroe lay on a straw mattress, her hair sticking to her face, her body still shaking from labor. In her arms, a new baby girl wailed her third daughter in 5 years. She barely had time to press a kiss to the child's head before the door burst open and her husband, Hank Monroe, staggered in, drunk and mean, boots tracking mud, the stench of whiskey as thick as a blanket. "What is it?" he barked. "Tell me it's a boy." Joanna's lips trembled. "It's a daughter, Hank. A beautiful." The slap came before she finished, snapping her head sideways. "Another useless mouth." He roared. "3 girls. What good is a wife who can't give me a son?" In the corner, 2 little girls huddled together as oldest, 5, and her sister, 3 eyes wide, frozen in fear. The newborn wailed louder, and Hank's fury grew. He kicked the water bucket, shoved Joanna back on the bed, so hard she nearly dropped the infant. "You curse me, woman. Every breath you take shames me." His fists rained down again, splitting her lip, drawing blood. Joanna curled around the baby, taking the blows. Outside, a neighbor passing by saw the silhouette of violence through the window, and hurried away. Men in buckskin didn't interfere in another man's home. At last, Hank tossed Joanna out the door and into the dirt, bloody, arms wrapped around the baby. Her older girls crept out after her, sobbing, trying to help her stand. That's how Jesse Granger found them. He was coming back from his ranch, driving a wagon full of feed, eyes tired with grief, but steady, the kind that measured a man before speaking. He slowed his horse, took in the scene, a little barefoot girl, cheeks streaked, clinging to the fence, watching her mother collapse. Jesse dismounted, boots sinking into the dust, and crossed the yard without a word. Hank loomed in the doorway, bottle in hand, chest heaving. "Get out of here, Granger. My house. My wife. None of your concern." Jesse didn't even look at him. He looked at Joanna, her face swollen, her arms shaking around the newborn, her eyes empty with hopelessness. He saw the kids trembling behind her. Jesse's jaw clenched. When he spoke, his voice was calm but carried like a bell. "If birthing daughters is a crime in this place, then let me be the one to raise them proud." The words hung in the air. Hank blinked. The bottle wavered. The street Frozino one laughed now. Joanna's eldest slipped her hand into Jesse's like she'd known him all her life. In that instant, the night shifted not with gunfire, but with a promise, a defiance that cut through the cruelty that ruled Buckskin. That night, the desert air bit sharp as Joanna sat in Jesse's wagon, battered, clutching her newborn. Her daughters pressed close. She didn't trust him. Couldn't men always came with demands. But Jesse only drove them to his ranch house, a lantern glowing in the window, a barn looming nearby. "You can go inside," he told her softly. "There's food, clean water. You're safe here tonight." She eyed him with suspicion. "Why? What do you want?" Jesse met her gaze. "Nothing. You need a place. That's all." He opened the door, then stepped aside. "Your choice, Mrs. Monroe." It was her oldest daughter's tug on her sleeve that got her inside. The cabin was small, warm, swept clean, a fire in the hearth and a pot of beans simmering. Jesse laid out blankets, poured warm water in a basin, then took his coat and nodded. "I'll be in the barn. You and the girls will rest easier without me." Joanna knelt by the fire, tears burning her eyes as her daughters helped wash her bruises. Through the wall, she heard Jesse's quiet guitar, the horse shifting in the barn. That night, her girls couldn't sleep. Jesse's voice floated in, telling a story about a star that never went out, a little flame that burned to guide lost travelers home. One by one, the girls curled up and drifted off. Joanna sat rigid, unsure if she could believe in peace, frightened by hope itself. Days passed in a blur of dust and silence. Jesse kept his distance, never asking anything of her, only fixing up the house, teaching the girls to fly a kite, draw with charcoal, or listen to tales of women who'd crossed mountains and changed towns. At night, Joanna found herself drawn to a shelf of buxa, forbidden fruit Hank had always kept from her. She confessed her story to Jesse, the blacksmith's daughter who'd loved to read. Married off too young, locked away, made to believe she was only worth the son she could produce. Jesse listened in silence, then shared his own scarce, a wife lost in childbirth, a son gone of fever. "We all carry ghosts," he said. One evening, Joanna found Jesse in the barn, singing a lullaby to her infant as he worked iron, his hands gentle as he tucked the quilt around the baby. Tears came hot and fast, not from pain or fear, but the shock that kindness could live in a man's hands, that a man could see a child not as a burden, but as a wonder. But Buckskin wasn't done with them. For riders thundered in, Hank leading the way, eyes blazing, ready to take back what he claimed was his. Jesse stepped out, not with a gun, but a blacksmith's hammer, standing calm at the fence. "Draw if you want," he warned Hank's hired guns, "but you'll not leave here if you do." The gunman hesitated, then backed down. The crowd gathered, watching as Hank's power drained away. He spat in the dirt and rode off, beaten in spirit if not in body. Life at Jesse's ranch became something softer than Joanna had ever known. The girls played in the grass, built kites, learned to draw. Jesse praised them, told them stories of strong women, gave them hope. He even rewrote her favorite fables into a notebook, gifting her a piece of herself she thought lost. When illness struck, he nursed her without question, doing what needed to be done, not for reward, but out of love lost and love found. One gray morning, Joanna tried to leave fear, whispering that happiness was not for her. Jesse let her go, but sent his wife's locket after her, carried by her youngest. "Tell your mama she deserves to live pretty." The words broke Joanna's resolve. She came back, held by her children's arms in Jesse's silent acceptance. Hank tried to claim her in court, but for the first time, the judge ruled for the woman, not the husband. Other women stood up, telling how Joanna had taught their daughters, had become an example, not a possession. The judge's gavel echoed. A wife is not cattle. Joanna Monroe is free. Spring came. Beneath the old apple tree, neighbors gathered as Joanna and Jesse spoke their vows, exchanging plain rings hammered in the forge. Not from fear, but from truth, she whispered. Her daughters danced in the grass, laughter rising like a hymn. Joanna Monroe, once beaten for birthing daughters, now cherished because of Thema Mother, a bride, a woman free at last. If this story touched you, hit like, share it with someone who still believes in hope, and subscribe for more Wild West love stories, because out here, bullets may break the silence, but it's love that writes the story. See you on the next ride, partner.